There is a lake in the country of Palau called Jellyfish Lake, where jellyfish have evolved without stingers. These golden jellyfish are completely harmless to humans and you can even swim with them. A wolf will respond with a howl if a human imitates a howl. Until its demolition in 2012, 1% of Greenland's entire population lived in one apartment building called Block P. In 1951, a woman named Henrietta Lacks died of cervical cancer, but her tumor cells were removed and later discovered to be the first ever human cells that could thrive in a lab. Her cells have been the subject of more than 74,000 studies, many of which have yielded profound insights into cell biology, cancer, vaccine, and cloning. There was a goat in Utah named Freckles that was implanted with spider genes as an embryo that is now known as the spider goat. She produces spider silk proteins in her milk, which is used to make biosteel, a material stronger than Kevlar. In praying mantises, 25% of all sexual encounters result in the death of the male, as the female begins by ripping the male's head off. Contrary to popular belief, cracking your bones doesn't hurt your bones or cause you arthritis. It's simply the gas bubbles bursting that you hear. However, doing it too much does cause tissue damage. There's a movie from 2010 called Rubber about a murderous car tire named Robert that rolls around killing people and blowing things up. In 2010, a black Nigerian couple living in the UK gave birth to a blonde white baby with blue eyes that they called the miracle baby. The dot over the J or I is called a tittle. In Finland, when you earn your PAAHDAADDDDHEHE, you're given a doctoral hat that looks like a top hat, as well as a doctoral sword. A male honeybee's orgasm is so powerful that its sex organs explode shortly after which it dies. The sound you hear when you put a seashell next to your ear isn't the sea, but the blood running through your veins. Diamonds are actually not that rare. A company called De Beers owns 95% of the market and suppresses supply to keep the prices high. In the Despicable Me movies, the gibberish that the minions speak is actually a functioning language written by the directors called Minionese. Percussive maintenance is the technical term for hitting something until it works. The strongest beer in the world is called Snake Venom, containing 67.5% alcohol. In 1961, Italian artist Piero Manzoni filled 90 tin cans of his own feces and called them artist's tea and sold them according to their equivalent weight in gold. More than 20% of the world oxygen is produced in the Amazon rainforest. The average tree is made up of about 1% of living cells at any given time. In January 1961, the U.S. Air Force accidentally dropped 2 nuclear bombs in Goldsboro, North Carolina when a bomber broke in half in the air. Fortunately, the bomb didn't go off, but if it did, it would have caused more destruction than Hiroshima and Nagasaki. A man in the United Kingdom was so fed up that his city wasn't repairing potholes, he went and spray-painted penises on them, earning him the nickname Wonksa. In 2014, a woman named Nancy Cohen was moved into a nursing home. Her relocated cat, Cleo, showed up 2 weeks later, even though she had never been there before. She started hanging out on benches until somebody noticed her, and now they live together at the facility. Keiko, the orca who starred in Free Willy, was released into the wild on July of 2002 in Iceland after being in captivity for 23 years. A few weeks after his release, he showed up at a Norwegian inlet from the sea, looking to make human contact and gave children rides on his back. A hyena's laugh, which is called giggles by zoologists, can be heard up to 40 feet 13 kilometers away. In the early days of iTunes, Universal Music Group deducted artists' iTunes royalties for costs such as packaging and breakages on digital downloads. Eminem sued them. The poison from Dieffenbachia, aka mother-in-law plant, can cause temporary inability to speak. Capital letters were stored in the upper tray for typefaces used in letterpress printing. This is why they're called uppercase. In 2015, a man in Georgia tried to shoot an armadillo, but the bullet ricocheted off its shell and hit his mother-in-law, injuring her. In 1999, 47 black residents of a Texas town were arrested on drug charges solely on the uncorroborated word of one undercover agent who was a member of the KKK. Many were sentenced to long prison terms. Some served years before release. For his wrong reports, the officer got 10 years of probation. When soccer player Cristiano Ronaldo was asked to donate his cleats for a charity auction benefiting a 10-month-old child suffering from a brain disorder that can lead to 30 seizures a day, Ronaldo paid the full $83,000 cost of the surgery for young Eric Ortiz Cruz. Rob McElhenney, who plays the homophobic character Mac on It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, was raised by a lesbian couple. In 2013, a Swedish man broke out of prison one day before his release in order to see a dentist and then turned himself in after fixing his toothache. Raccoons are smarter than cats and dogs and have approximately the same mental attributes as monkeys. People have higher chances of dying on their birthday than on any other days. While serving in the Army, Clint Eastwood survived a plane crash in the Pacific Ocean by swimming 3 miles 5 km to shore. The crash kept him from being deployed to Korea. In the 17th century, pirates operated democracies before any traditional Western powers and even had a system of checks and balances. Also, they had a form of disability insurance. There is a Royal Navy superstition that whistling on a ship can summon strong winds. Traditionally, the only person allowed to whistle is the ship's cook, as it means he's not eating the food. The largest centipede which ever existed 280 million years ago was tall enough to rear up and look a human in the eyes. At 4,400 words, the United States has the oldest and shortest written constitution of any major government in the world. The 1946 Adventures of Superman radio show revealed the secret codes and rituals of the KKK, making it a laughingstock and drying up Klan recruitment almost overnight. In 1975, Morgantown, WW population 30,000 built a personal rapid transit system that comes at the push of a button, skips the stations you don't want, and is still carrying 15,000 people per day today. The original word for bear the animal has been lost. Superstitious people in medieval times thought that saying the ferocious animal's name would summon it, so they used a euphemism that meant the brown one bear. The original word was never recorded, so it remains a mystery. Pixar credits its success to its anti-Disney approach of no songs, no happy village, and no love story. Alan Stacey, a Formula One driver, was killed when a bird flew into his face during a race in 1960. Modern roundabouts have 40% fewer vehicle collisions, 80% fewer injuries, and 90% fewer serious injuries and fatalities compared with regular junctions. During World War II, Medal of Honor recipient Thomas Baker ordered his squad to leave him propped against a tree with a pistol and 8 bullets when he was wounded. Later, American forces found the now deceased Baker in the same spot, holding an empty pistol, with 8 dead Japanese soldiers lying around him. The remake of Evil Dead used 70,000 gallons of fake blood. About 50,000 of it was used in the final scene alone. Unlike humans, the octopus does not have a blind spot. The Society for Neuroscience, with more than 36,000 members, is the largest professional organization in the world dedicated to the study of the nervous system. The annual salary range for a neurologist is $106,000 to $199,701. The annual salary range for a psychiatrist is $110,000 to $152,008. Cataract comes from the Latin word cataracta meaning waterfall because looking through a waterfall is similar to the vision that results from cataracts. In 1921, Austrian scientist Otto Loewi discovered the first neurotransmitter that he named Vagustov. We now call this chemical acetylcholine. Every day, people worldwide light up 15 billion cigarettes.